Come out with us and play. Love your London. Have a banana. Hello, we're back. Yes, this is a little interesting little special here. Now, we're here in conjunction with the Home Composed Song Contest, which was won by Romania last year. There was a fantastic song by Cornell. Here's a little bit of it.
My heart's burning up and I can't feel my face. Take me away, don't let me go. Make me believe that I was never alone. Bring back those nights with passion and love. Let the pouring rain falling down from above. You're never
So this year it's being hosted by Andy Book in London, part of London Vision, in conjunction obviously with Cornell as well back in Romania, and we thought we'd do a little special. So we're going to talk about Romania, because Romanian, they are the most, apart from the actual British nationals, Romanian are the number one. They overtook the Poles in 2018, the number one non-British residents in London. 150,000 in 2018, narrowly overtaking the Poles. And in fact, we know that there's roughly about 500 between 500 and 600,000 Romanians applied for settled status to live in the UK when Brexit kicked in. So that's how we know roughly that there's just under 600,000 Romanians living in the UK at the moment. But what do the Romanians do for fun? Where do they go? Well, we're going to have a little look around London and to see what Romanian London things we can find in a short period of time. Today's the 25th of September 2022, and today, as it happens, we're going to a football match. Romania. No, not Romanian national team, but a team called Romania FC. And that's the first of no doubt many cock-ups in this video, as they're actually called FC Romania. And don't worry if you don't like football, that constitutes just the very first part of this video. Later on we'll be visiting a Romanian Harvest Festival, checking out Burnt Oak, also known as Little Romania for reasons that will become obvious, and eating a lot of wonderful Romanian food. But first, back to the footy. Now, Romania FC is a very interesting story. It was set up in 2006 by some workers from Romania who were living over here, and they wanted something to do. And they started off playing on Hackney Marshes. Now, this is, if you don't know what Hackney Marshes is, here's a picture of it. As you can see, it's like goalposts all over the place and fields, like dozens and dozens of football pitches all together, and that's where people play amateur Sunday league football. But they soon realised, I mean, they were actually really good for that level, and they soon realised that their dream was one day to take part in the FA Cup. The FA Cup is open to any team on levels 1, that's the Premier League, down to the 10th division, or the 10th level on the pyramid. There are 22 levels altogether in the football pyramid. Their dream was one day to join that pyramid and get above the 10th level. So, well, they did. In 2008 they switched to Saturday football, and they joined the now defunct East Business Houses Football League, which was on level 14. Here we are, we're on Theobald's Lane. Now they did very well. The very first year they actually won their league, and the following year they came second. They were clearly much better than 14th division. So they applied to join other leagues in the system, and after a series of promotions, etc., they were soon in the Essex Senior League Central Division, which is on the 8th level, which meant that they could obviously compete in the FA Cup. So what happened next? Well, on their very first attempt, they actually got to they actually got through, beat 3 teams. They got to the second qualifying round. They won the first 2 pre-qualifying rounds. Got to the second qualifying round, where they lost against Sutton United. Now Sutton United, they were back then a team that was doing extremely well. Romania FC. Romania FC. We're talking about Romania FC, not Arsenal. So what happened is they got to they were beaten by Sutton. They were beaten by Sutton United. Now Sutton United is currently a League 2 team in the 4th division of the football pyramid. Back then they were a couple of divisions lower down, but they were still a number of divisions, I think at least 2 divisions higher than where Romania FC were. Fantastic. They lost 3-2 in Sutton. So why are we here? Well, we're here to see what Romania FC is all about. And why they're called Romania FC, and is it all Romanians who play there? So yeah, unfortunately Romania FC are not, they were knocked out of this year's FA Cup pre-qualifiers very early on, but this is a different competition. This is the FA Trophy, which is open to all teams between the 5th and the 8th tier, and they are playing today Faversham Town, which is we're in a different division, so let's see how they get on. Okay, so here we are, and as you can see, it doesn't say behind me the name of Romania FC. It says Cheshunt Football Club. That's because in order to play in competitions like the FA Cup, they had to have a better stadium. So they've got a ground share scheme with the Ambers. By the way, Romania FC are called the Wolves, like Wolverhampton Wanderers, but as I said, whereas Wolverhampton Wanderers has a strong Portuguese connection, Romania FC is of course Romanian. We're going to talk a little bit about this now. Hello.
Hello there, how are you? All right?
Yeah, I'm okay.
£10 a head, sir, to get here.
It's £5, isn't it? We're unwaged. We haven't got any money. I was just wondering, because I saw on the site it was £5.
Okay, we'll do.
Yeah, is that okay? Because basically we're doing this video thing. We're not been able to monetize our video yet because we need people to subscribe.
5 is fine, sir.
Fantastic. So 2 tickets, please.
There you go, sir.
Is there a programme?
It's online at fcromania.co.uk.
Okay, thank you.
All right, sir.
Brilliant. 'Cause we need people to subscribe to our channel and to like our channel as well. We're doing a little video about non-league football, but we're not making any money yet. More people should need to like our video as well, and also share our videos and all that sort of stuff. Brilliant. Thank you.
Number 16,
Okay.
Kevin Massinu, number 16. Former Argyle player as well.
Smells good in here.
Hi, have you got normal Strongbow or
I've got what? No, sorry, no. I've got Bulmer's original or
on tap? On tap?
In a bottle.
Okay, I'll have 2 pints of Kronenberg then, please.
Are you going into the game?
Yes.
8:40, please. Thank you.
Okay.
Here's the 2 teams. Bring the 2 teams out. Faversham Town and who's the other one? FC Romania. And you know, what's that touching moment when they shake each other's hand? I mean, it's really sincere. You know what I mean? They look at each other in the eye. And of course, I always say, enjoy it, lads, because 20 years from now you'll bump into each other in the pub and say, where do I know you from? So you kicked me out the backside, didn't you, down at Cheshunt's ground? There it is. There's a handshake. Get it out of the way, and you've got a big game to play for.
So, why are they called the wolves? Well, have a look now at their crest, and you'll see at the top this very strange creature with a wolf's head and a serpent's body and sort of like a dragon mouth flailing out. That's called the Dacian Draco. The Dacian Draco. And what that is, that is a very old wind instrument. Basically, the Dacians, back in the ancient Roman times, when they used to go into battle, they used to have this thing on a long standard, and it made a scary noise in the wind as the wind goes through the mouth of the wolf, and then sort of like go through, and then the tail of the serpent starts shaking in the wind. The Dacian Draco, and in fact, it's a very famous emblem, one of the emblems of Romania. You'll see about 20 of them on Trajan's column, in fact, and also in old Dacian currency of the time. Talk about 2nd AD. You'll see it on the coins back then as well. You'll even see it, as you know, in Romania. Although they're in the EU, they don't use the euro. They still use the lei. And one of the notes that came out a few years ago had the Dacian Draco on it as well. So that's their symbol, and that's why they're called the wolves. Not the dragons, the wolves, because of that wolf head on the front of the shield. So, as you can see, I mean, I'm just having a little look here at the names of the players. Lots of Romanian names: Alexandru Dabnuic and Alexandru Rita and Gico Iordache. I'm sorry about my pronunciation, but there's some very un-Romanian names like Kieran Bishop, Eusebio da Silva, Jandir Gonçalves da Cruz. Yes. Jamie Smith. He doesn't sound very Romanian, does he? There you go. He may well be. I do apologise to the Smiths of Timișoara. Maybe I wasn't aware of you, but as I said, it's not all Romanians. Now, this, as I said, this did start off as a club to entertain the Romanian workers, but it now really has it's a proper sort of semi-professional club. They're always looking for new players, but obviously they're a pretty high standard now. I mean, in 3 promotions time, they could actually be a league club. I mean, it's not likely to happen, but that's how close they are to joining that top 4. As I said, it's called FC Romania. Apologies if earlier I called it Romania FC. It's called FC Romania, and what they do, even if they don't only have Romanian players, their ethos and the ethos of the club is that they will always play a Romanian style of football. The very attractive Romanian style of football that we all fell in love with in the days of George Hagi and players like that. What is Romanian style of football? Well, it's very short passes, lots of triangles, lots of very. There's no sort of like hoofing the ball up the pitch. So they sort of like just send the ball, lots of very interesting sort of combinations and triangles and stuff, and slowly bring up, slowly sort of like build it up and score plenty of goals. And they've been doing that, as I said, they've been doing very well. Right now they're mid-table, but the season is still very young. Let's see a bit of football and see how they get on against the mighty Faversham Town.
Result? Right result. Well done. Get that big coach out of our car park now. But well done, Faversham Town. Very well done indeed. I hope to see you again.
I'm Johnny Adams, right? Well known in Bucharest.
Oh, right, okay.
And why you don't go to Brasov, Mr. John? Why you go? I said, because Bucharest is the capital, isn't it? So if you get to the capital, you can feel the hub of the whole nation. Yeah. And those from Bucharest, bravo, John, you know those best, right? So yeah. Back in 2012, when I was doing the microphone for Cheshunt, and I looked out there was I now know a bunch of Romanians, and of course I'll do the microphone. I said to the big boss, I went, who's that out there? Now 2012, that's when Nigel Farage was saying there's 50 million Romanians coming here, right? I thought, well, we only want 11 for a team, right? So anyway, the big boss of Cheshunt said to me, young Dean, he said, Johnny, they're paying us a lot of money to play here. Would you do the microphone for them? I went, yeah. I said, too late now, I'll just watch them. So I stood on the barrier there, And I watched them, and I'm going, very good, very good. Jonnet come across, and I said, excuse me, sir. I said, apparently I'm going to be your microphone. Oh, thank you very much, sir. I fell in love with them so much. I went to Cheshunt. I said, you don't mind if I start following FC Romania away games? Oh, Johnny, do what you want to do. And so I fell in love with FC Romania. Yeah. And when I saw him here at 2012, here was very good players like Chulka, Gabriels, right? And I said, I bet you, I could see, because of my age, I could see that they were good. But of course, a bit old now, but obviously very good standing back home. And so they walked it here. It was easy for them. And what you actually had was a too good a team, club, for the level they were playing. Yeah? And they said, we want to go promotion. I said, we can't buy promotion. You've got to have the financial back up. I said, but you've got to play your way promotion. They did. And they ended up step 4. Yeah, but I had a lot of fun with FC Romania, and I used to turn to a Romanian who could speak English. I said, how do I say well done? He said, easy, bravo, right? I said, bravo. But I remember getting I was writing things down. I forgot them now, but of course it wasn't very good Romanian, but the players understood and they responded. Yeah. And after the game they come up. I mean, I thought, I'm supposed to not like these people, right? But they've really got hold of me and embraced me. So it was around about 2015, 2016, I thought, I've got to go to Bucharest, right? So my son said, well, get on the aeroplane and go there. Touchdown in Bucharest, and sure enough, I felt it. I thought, what, this, yes. I saw happy people, and of course, it was cheap then, right? I mean, I pulled a £20 note out and I got a bought a place. One lovely old player, Chulka, and I met a Dragos, and look at these names we got, right? Yeah. But I said to Chulka, I said, you were one hell of a player in your day. He said, I was very good, Mr. John. He said, but no, I am too old. Yeah. I went, I could see you could play. I said, well done. And of course he loved me for that. Yeah. Yeah? Because you only get old. Yeah. FC Romania had its day, and towards the latter part of FC Romania, in the last couple of years, I noticed, probably my doing, I said, you won't have all Romanians here. I said, you're going to have to open it up. And he said, well, we don't care, Mr. John, we're not racist. I said, well, that's what's going to have to happen. Too much did that happen. Yeah. Now, I'm not, if you're winning, well done, right? But it wasn't my FC Romania anymore. Right. So, yeah? FC Romania badge. Yeah. FC Romania tie. You see, I'm going to have to tell the new owner, you do know that is an FC Romania tie. Yeah. And he said, is it, John? I went, yeah. Right, all the officers of the club, we all had, didn't have to, but we went and got the tie, and that showed wherever we went, visitors, FC Romania. I took a lot of the stick, excuse me while I just wipe my nose, because I'm almost tearful. Someone would say to me, early days, are they all Romanians? I went, no, not him. No, he's a Bulgarian, right? Yeah. And of course, when they have their talks, what was the Bulgarian boy? And then he come to me. I said, do you understand him? He said, Mr. John, his only accent is like Scotland and England, right? The language is basically the same. Yeah. And then, of course, I met two Moldovians. Yeah. And I thought, look at me. What the teacher at school couldn't teach about geography. A football team called FC Romania, right, are giving me the lowdown and how it all forms in the great thing called, Europe. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Nigel Farage would have been very disappointed in me. I said, here, Nigel, I love him. What are you going to do about that? Right?
Good on you.
Football supporters are what they are. They say, he doesn't look very Romanian, John. And of course, he'd be a black boy, right? Yeah. And I'd say, southern Romania, a bit warmer down there, right? And it worked. They loved it. Yeah. And of course they laughed. Yeah. I said, but they're all from Romania, and they're here, and they're working hard, and then coming here and playing hard, right? And of course, when after the game, the Romanian boys said to me, Mr. John, I am very, very tired, because I knew they were putting in a good shift at work. And I said, well, use it as your fitness level. I said, are you paying tax? He said, of course. I said, that'll do to me. I said, because I'm retired and I need you lot earning money, right? And it was all good stuff. Anyone else would have said that to them, it would have come out the wrong way. But with me, they took it because they say they looked upon me as their big old dad. And I thought, I can't go wrong with these lads, you know?
Fantastic.
Yeah. And I'm proud to say, I'm now proud to be back with the new FC Romania. Yeah? Now, if he starts recruiting Romanian players, that's when I'll start to dig out on my computer the language again. You know, Trage, shoot. Because I turned to this English and I said, what's the word for shoot? He went, Trage. I said, Trage. Right. And of course, he'd look at me and went, yeah, okay, I will. Boom, goal. Right? And I found out goal was a standard language.
Yeah, so there you go. It wasn't unfortunately it wasn't a great day for FC Romania, but we got to speak to John Adams. He was really fun, wasn't he? Anyway, so I'm quite I got like a taste of Romania. I think we need to try some Romanian food, or maybe let's see. Let's go on Google and see what we can find that is Romania and connected to London. So let's follow us and to the next location. Okay, so here we are. We're just at a typical Magazin Romanesc. There are these dotted all over London. We're at the moment we're not in a particularly Romanian area. This is actually Lithuanian. Got more Lithuanians than Romanians, but they're everywhere. This is another Romanian shop. We're at the moment in Dagenham in East London. Let's go and have a little look inside.
Oh, wonderful. It's just so...
There we go. Ciuperci.
Yes.
All these foods.
Yes.
So I mean, if you come from Romania and you come to London, you're just you'll be at home because there's
Magazin,
there are so many of these shops here. I mean, you're never going to worry about not being able to get the things from home. So many different types of food and things to remind you from home. Lots of bread. I think we're going to have to try one of these cakes. Let's have a look. What do you recommend of these? Just between us, which one?
The black one is
the black one? We'll have one of them, please.
Right.
How much is that?
£3.
£3. That's fairly reasonable.
Yeah.
Probably. Let's have a look. 150, 60, 70, 80. £2.10. £2.30. I've got £2.35. Is that okay?
I give you 2 of them for free, yeah? No, you can't do that.
You sure? Oh my gosh.
I'm the boss. You're the boss.
You're giving us for free.
Oh, what?
The Romanian people are just so hospitable and so friendly. Thank you very much. Wow. You have a business to run. I feel guilty.
Boy, oh boy. I come in here and it's like heaven. I smell the meat and all the lovely things. Oh, too many nice things.
Thank you very much. I feel so guilty taking this, but you made them.
No, I had some friends.
But they're made in London?
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you very much. And what's it called, this stuff?
That one is with the sherry, some chocolate, mousse chocolate with the sherry.
Mousse chocolate with sherry. Yeah. Thank you very much. How do you say thank you in Romanian?
Mulțumesc.
Mulțumesc. Mulțumesc. Thank you.
Oh,
thank you very much. Thank you. This is wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Look at it, it's beautiful. It's like artwork.
Wow.
Artwork in chocolate.
Okay.
It's so shiny.
Okay, can't wait for this.
I think we'll just have one at a time.
We'll have one now and one later.
Yeah. I'm taking the cherry.
Aren't Romanian people lovely? That's delicious. No, you can taste the sherry.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Oh.
I mean, look at that. We turned up here unannounced. Paul didn't know we were turning up, and he just gave them to us for free.
Look at this, 2 of them.
2 of them.
I'm taking this maraschino. Oh. It's a spoon breaker, Tristan. Broke the spoon. Oh, good heavens.
Now, you may be thinking that because we're carrying a GoPro camera, I'm wearing a Love Your London branded t-shirt, and we're clearly YouTube influencers of some sort, we are getting preferential treatment. However, let us tell you this. We have visited ethnic food shops across London over the years without holding a camera, and we have always found Romanian shopkeepers to be among the most hospitable and, to be honest, financially reckless that we have ever encountered. We almost always get free stuff when we go into a Romanian shop, largely because they are so happy that there is someone taking an interest in their cuisine and in their culture. We'll see more of this sort of stuff later on, but one thing we particularly love is that if you look up La Simone on Google Maps, it is listed not as a shop, but as a university. We have no idea why this is, but La Simone could certainly teach a thing or two in how to give good customer service. This is by far one of the best Eastern European shops we visited, and we recommend it to everyone. What was that phrase again? Ah, that's right. Mulțumesc. Before we get on to the next segment, the Romanian Harvest Festival, just a quick note. We currently have just shy of 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. However, on Facebook we have 1,100 subscribers, so there's at least 100 of you who clearly like our content but haven't subscribed to our YouTube account. It costs you nothing, but it really does help us. So if you could do this for us, you are officially legends. We'll just give you a second to do this. Thank you. Back to the show. So, where are we today? We are in Harrow Weald, and this is Targ Romanesc, Romanian Fete, Romanian Harvest Festival. Lots and lots of stalls for the local Romanian community. This is organised by a number of people, but one of them is called Roconect. Details are on your screen, and as you can guess from the word Roconect, it connects the Romanian people of London.
Just exposing this costume, so it's like national costumes of Romania. There are different type of costumes that we wear there.
And do you make these, or do you bring them over from Romania?
This one?
Yeah.
They are made locally, so we just bring them here, like especially for this type of event.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so, yeah.
And would these still traditionally be used, worn in Romania for weddings or special events, or?
Yes,
Yeah.
not everywhere in Romania, but the northeast side of Romania, they do very much keep the tradition alive for weddings, for major religious events. So everybody would go to church, for instance, and wear traditional clothing, especially in the villages. The cities, they tend not to keep it up so much, but they still do. So it depends on the region. But that region, Maramuresh, they do keep it alive. So yeah.
Oh well, what is that? Is that a goat?
I don't know.
Is this a goat? Lamb. Yeah.
It was.
Yes.
It was, yes. It's not anymore.
I know, it smells
It's
amazing.
finished in all sorts of senses of the word. It's,
Very nice.
yeah. Hello. I can speak. Are you from Romania?
Yes.
Can I? We're doing a little video about Romania in London.
Okay.
What's your name?
Bogdan.
Bogdan.
Yeah.
And how? And what do you love about London?
Is there anything to love in London? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
The music scene, or the diversity, or
The most beautiful things in London are the pubs.
the pubs.
Yeah, look,
absolutely.
He saved me.
What's
He
your-
saved the day.
What's your name?
Alex.
Alex. I love the pubs. Have you got a favourite pub in London?
Please talk with
Your,
Why you share, mate?
your favourite pub in London?
Pub?
Your favourite pub in London?
Every pub.
Every pub. Well, some pubs aren't so good. But,
Wetherspoons.
yeah.
With Wetherspoons. Yeah,
Wetherspoons.
we go most in
Yes.
them. Yeah. Most.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Some of them are closing. I think they're going to
So
close.
what is bring you here? Anyway?
It's called Love Your London. It's I think
Where you from?
from London.
Okay.
Yeah.
What can I find
Have you
anyway?
ever been in Romania?
No, not been to Romania, but
Why?
I haven't been. I will go. I know. I want to go. I want
It's
to
a
go.
beautiful country, but you know.
I was hoping maybe if Romania wins the Eurovision Song Contest one day, then I'll go, because I go to the Eurovision Song Contest.
Have time.
So I was
Buy
hoping.
some tickets.
I was
Go
hoping this year that Wurs would win with Yamame, that song, remember? But they didn't win. I put money on it, but it didn't win. So, but maybe next year. Okay, so this is
Fătească neagră.
Fătească Nagra, and
Transylvania.
from Transylvania, this wine. Is that a half glass or is that a full glass?
£3.
£3?
Cardo?
It's okay. So this is small glass. Can you buy this in shops? This wine?
No.
What's your name? Sorry, it's
Danny.
Danny. Right.
Coming for Transylvania, special for this event.
Please subscribe to our channel if you're watching this. You become a patron, of course, as well. But if you want to help for free, then just subscribe to our channel, share it, and remember to write in the YouTube channels. But sharing it—that's a really important thing, because that way one day we'll be monetized, which is our big dream. Everyone's got to have a dream. Okay, so let's carry on having a little look around. See what else we can find. Aha! Now here we have some very interesting things. Yeah.
Nice dress.
Thank you.
We're doing our
Nice dress.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. Can I make you a picture?
Of course, yes.
On my panel down there, please. Right here. Right here. Beautiful. That's it. Just up there, up there. You can sit down there. You can sit down there if you want it. That's it. That's it. There you go. Cheers. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you. Tell us about what's your name?
My name is Victor.
Victor.
Yes.
I'm Tristan. This is Sharon. We're from Love Your London, which is a little YouTube channel.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
we're doing a thing about today.
That's good. Thank you very much
Thank
for the
you.
picture.
So what is it you do? You just
So is clothes, old one. I mean, they are handmade. Those one, that one, inclusive this one, which one I had it on me.
Yeah.
Someone here is teaching. You know?
Here in London.
No. My mom-in-law, long time ago. I mean, about 50, 60, 70 years ago.
Wow, it still looks amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
There is.
Fantastic.
That's why we're trying to bring our culture back.
Absolutely.
Just to keep people happy.
Yes.
With a couple things.
That's good. And you got and this is your stall as well?
Yes. All of them, they're handmade.
All handmade.
Yes.
And you bring this over from Romania.
Yes.
Wow.
Remember all the guys that what we have, what we left in our country. Things like that. All this one, you see? All stuff like that.
So these would typically be in a Romanian house, or not anymore?
Yes. In an old house.
Yeah, an old
house, it's impossible. Do not sitting like that or like that.
Like your house.
Impossible.
Yes.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
The old people.
Yes.
It's impossible. Do not have things like that in the house.
And this would be the whole of Romania, or just certain areas?
Certain areas.
So maybe in Bucharest, not so often, but
something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. That's nice.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And what's this wine here?
This wine is a red wine, but this one, they have a text message in Romania. For example, for the best husband, for the best godfather, for the best mom-in-law.
Okay.
Things like that, like husband, for the best husband.
Sot is husband.
Sots, yeah. And this one is happy birthday.
Oh, it's
La Mulțan.
better than a card.
La
isn't it?
Mulțan. Who would have thought that all these little Romanian things are happening in London? This is just a weekend. Isn't there a band of dolls, the Transylvanian family?
Oh, I think that started in Japan.
Right.
A Sylvanian, and not Transylvanian.
Sylvanian family. Sylvanian.
Very nice, Tristán.
There you go. Oh, look. Make your own sausages.
Yes, and making their, what do you call it, the waffles. Oh, that's... Whoa. Okay, I think it's time to have some food. Not here. We're going to go to Burnt Oak. Burnt Oak is known as Little Romania. See you in the next segment. Hello there. Right, we're on Burnt Oak Broadway. Now this whole area is also known as Little Romania. There's so many Romanian businesses around here. It's getting a bit late, so a lot of them have closed. But we're going to go to Brasseria Timișoareana. What I do know is that we're going to finish up with a papanași, because papanași is one of the most typical desserts of Romania. It's made with semolina, cottage cheese, and sort of jam. So let's go and have a look. Let's check it out. Brasseria Timișoareana. Hello.
Hello.
We're from Love Your London. We're from Love Your London. We're doing a little documentary about Romania in London, and we wanted to eat something typically Romanian. So yeah, that's fantastic.
So you want to drink something typically Romanian?
So, have you got a wine list or price list, or how much is a bottle
we
of?
just refurbished like a week ago, so like we're working on the drinks menu.
How much is a bottle of red wine? House red.
25.
25.
But there's no Romanian so far. We're still working on that.
Romanian beer.
Romanian beer, yeah.
We'll have 2 Romanian beers.
2 of those?
Yeah. What lager? What is lager?
Yeah, it's lager.
Lager. 2 of them, please. So here we are, Timișoareana, from Timișoara.
Very nice, gentle flavor, very refreshing. What a lovely.
Very nice. Yeah, typical lager, but nice.
Very, but it's it's not too. It doesn't have any of the. It's quite clean.
It's a clean lager. But we want to go for something that's very Romanian. Get the full Romanian.
Get a suggestion. Yeah.
Yes, I will do. I cannot eat onion.
All right.
So I wanted to check first of all, the Moldavian stew, does that have onion in it already? Probably.
No, it has garlic.
Garlic's fine.
Onion, yeah.
There's no onion. You sure there's no onion? Okay, so we'll have a Moldavian stew.
Yeah.
And could we have also the mixed grill?
Yeah.
No onion. There's no onion on the side or anything, is there? That's fantastic. That'll be great. And then for dessert, I've heard the papanași is amazing here.
Alright. You want that?
Yeah, we'll have is that enough for 2 people?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to share everything. So we'll just have those 3 dishes.
Alright. Do you want that with chocolate or with blueberry jam?
Let's say what's more traditional in Romania?
Jam.
We'll have jam then.
Yeah?
Thank you. So and this stew, is this from Moldova or the area of Moldavia in Romania?
It's the recipe coming from that region.
From that region, yeah. Fantastic. Okay.
It's like the Romanian side of Moldova, not the country.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I know that there's a difference. Fantastic. And there's definitely no onion. There's definitely no onion.
100%.
Wonderful.
I'll make sure.
Fantastic. There we go. This is great service so far.
Yeah.
So here we go.
I'll get you some bread in a second.
Thank you. Can you have some mayonnaise as well?
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Mayonnaise.
Look at this. So this is.
That looks like a.
This looks amazing. This is the Moldavian stew.
Which is a border country, the border territory.
It's not. That's not Moldova. It's the whole Moldavian area, which includes part of Romania. Well, it's the Romanian side of Moldavia. This looks amazing. This looks amazing. Thank you.
Let's enjoy it.
Thank you very much. Wow.
All right.
Look at this. Well, we're sharing both of these things, so.
You go first.
Well, okay. I'll go first. I think I'll try a little bit of this typical sausage and the chip. Very nice. Let's try some of this now. I'm not sure what that is. Polenta, I think.
Right, that's polenta, and that's the fried cheese, isn't it? Fried cheese?
I don't know.
Polenta is a grain base.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what anything is.
We shall find out.
Okay. Looks interesting, whatever it is.
Why am I not surprised? There's a lot of food on there. Let's get that off. Come on. Oh yeah.
Well, we almost finished it. It was very, very good. I think Sharon finished all of hers.
Tomorrow is 3 blades of grass and maybe a walnut to make up for it.
Okay, well we now got the famous papanași. Look at that. Very traditional. That's semolina dumplings with cottage cheese and blueberry jam.
Your turn. It's like fried ice cream. It's amazing, but without the ice cream. Holy mackerel! He was right to suggest the berries instead of the chocolate.
Yeah. So semolina, cottage cheese.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Very nice.
Oh, that's just become one of my favorite desserts.
I can see now why this is very sought after. Apparently this is one of the best papanashis in London. There are a couple of posh Romanian restaurants where you can also get it. Clean plate, as you can see. Okay, so it's come to £25.90.
Wow, that's actually not.
That's not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. Not. Thought it'd be a slightly less than that. So, now don't forget that obviously we'll be covering the whole Burnt Oak area later on, maybe in a couple of years, probably we'll be getting to that area. So do remember to subscribe, and in that way you'll get loads more about this fabulous little pocket of Romanian London. Okay, so we are here on River Road. This here used to be the Crooked Billet pub. Now obviously there's, as you can see, there's a defence barrier. When the horrible flood happened in 1953, that was of course before that barrier was there, the whole village of Creekmouth was obliterated. But fortunately, the Crooked Billet, which was right there on the riverfront, was moved in 1920s, and it was moved to here. So it is still here today. It got saved. It didn't actually get, because that's where Creekmouth used to be. This survived, and there is normally a signpost there saying Crooked Billet in memory of the old pub. It's not there at the moment, but the owner will put it back again at some point. But it's now a Romanian restaurant, Restaurant River. It's on River Road. River Thames is just there. River Roding is just there. This is the confluence of the two rivers. The Salamica, the small room, is in here, and then you've got the large room over there. This is a little bit posh, to be honest. This is...
it's all dressed up for the occasion.
So earlier on in the episode, we went to the Brasseria Timișoareana in Burnt Oak. That was fantastic. Absolutely loved it, and we had a papanași. Now we want to try and see how much the posh papanași costs. It was lovely. We absolutely loved the papanași in Burnt Oak. Apparently it's the best in London, but we want to just see whether that's true. We want to just try. We want to try this one.
The test tube.
Because it's in the middle of nowhere. They can make noise here until 3 o'clock in the morning. There's a party. You can have parties. So. Yeah, let's go and have a look and go and check it out. Hi.
Oh, it's very nice. This is like christening all over the I like it. Look at the disco light.
Thank you. There's this palinka, or like palinka.
Like palinka, yes.
There.
I'll smell it from here. Great-grandfather and his jars in the basement.
So how do you say cheers? Salute?
Noroc.
Noroc. Noroc.
Oh, I think I might need water to chase it. It's very... I recognize this.
Very nice, yeah. We're drinking some palinka, or something palinka similar style.
Yeah, this is palinka. Yeah.
This is palinka.
Okay, it's some people in north call it palinka, in south they call it suica, in Bucharest they call it raki.
Yes.
Of course. Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Raki is more anise.
But in north it's more stronger.
More stronger. It's very nice. So this is because we've been to a few Romanian places. We went to Brasseria Timișoareana in Burnt Oak. What's your name, by the way?
Alex.
Alex, lovely to meet you. And so this is very posh. I mean, this is very. This is.
Oh, we got bigger one in the back, 300 people. That's
not
posh.
Can we sit?
Yeah, come.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you having a wedding here tonight, or?
Yes, this is what we deal with.
Do you do banquets and stuff?
Yeah.
Wow, this is very.
Yes. It looks brand new.
It is very new.
Very good.
I mean, the place was here, but we just improved it.
And pretty much all your customers are from Romania, or
99%.
Sure.
yeah. Oh,
I see what
wow.
you're doing. This is lovely.
Is this the same party that's in the front?
Very nice.
No.
No. So this is a more expensive party.
Wow.
No, it's nothing to do with expense.
No.
In here is more space.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So this is the wedding here. This is just an ordinary dinner.
No, it's a concert, but also a christening.
Hannah Dulcimer. Yay!
This is christening, this is concert. Like, we got a very famous singer tonight.
Who's here tonight?
A very famous singer in Romania. Like Robbie Williams, for example, in UK.
Well, who is it?
It's called Christine Nuka.
Christine Nuka. Yeah. Okay, Christine Nuka.
Viață ți-am plătit și mi-ai dat am împărțit. Mi-ai dat bucurii și alinare. Au mai viață și dureri și supărare.
I recognize that instrument.
I know Cesar
nice.
from Romania. Fantastic.
You know, when you're going to have a party, you want to have a nice big place and have all your friends come and
also
visit.
you can stay late, free parking.
It opens till 3 a.m., doesn't it?
3 a.m., yeah.
That's fantastic. I think so. It's open every day, or
no, sir. Only weekends.
Only weekends. Open till 3 a.m. Thursday, Friday,
Saturday, Sunday, or at your request. If you are on Tuesday or Wednesday to do a birthday party or wedding christening, we can open it up.
Okay.
But there is no action here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
No.
Thursday, no, because this is industrial.
Oh, right next to the barrier. You can see it from here.
There, that's the barrier.
Yeah.
What a spot. Well, at least you don't have neighbors complaining about the noise.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
You're next to a cement factory and a recycling place.
Nobody complains.
No.
Nobody's going to complain about a bit of
They complain about the rats. Crepes or crepes.
These are like crepes, French crepes.
Exactly.
Clétite.
Yes.
Clétite.
That'll
Thank you. Wow, this is fantastic. This is on the house, I believe, and so were the drinks earlier on. These lovely little drinks as well. They were on the house as well. Well, fantastic, and we've still got the papanași to come. This is on the house.
As were
the drinks. We're going to be charged for the papanași, but he's also done a special deal. Instead of £7 each, he's doing them for two for tenner, because we're lovely people.
We're just that appealing.
We are.
Hit the like button.
Yes,
subscribe.
hit that like button.
You're gonna like it.
Mmm.
Oh my goodness.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, they're delicious.
Yeah.
They are delicious.
Mmm.
Good for the cold weather.
Yeah.
You know, we're
my
growing
goodness.
our bellies to make ourselves nice and warm.
Really good pancake.
Mmm.
Homemade right now.
Very good.
Did you make it?
Fresh. No.
Yeah.
That's very nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What? No, we just completely unsolicited. Just came in to ask if we could look around and try a single order, and instead they said no, you will have two, and then this, and then this, and this, and this.
So hospitable, the Romanian people.
Well, or
it's
certainly
fantastic.
when you have a business to run, and they were, you know, they're not jaded. They don't feel jaded. They just seem to, I guess, look at your environment. I don't know how much foot traffic they get around here.
This looks amazing.
So it's very aesthetic.
Oh my goodness me. Wow. Oh, thank you. Whoa.
Wow.
Look at that.
Exactly. So that is very aesthetic.
Yes, look at that. It's huge.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
be careful, it will fall.
Let's
it'll
try the
fall.
papanași.
Oh, I can smell the nice cream.
Oh.
And this one has lots of. The other one had the cream
It's
as well.
warm.
Yes, they're supposed to be, aren't they? The other one was too, but it was because they only just made this just seconds ago.
Oh, it's delicious. It's delicious.
So you've got sweet, you've got tart, and you have that rich,
And this
almost
is
bannock-like bread.
and inside you've got this this amazing sort of semolina and
Yes.
cottage cheese.
Yes, it's right. That's right. It's a heavier, unsweetened donut-like bread.
Yeah, got a semolina.
Magnificent.
Semolina, cottage cheese, and everything inside. It's amazing.
My gosh.
Does it taste good?
Very good. It's fantastic.
Everything has been wonderful.
Yes.
Good thing it's a fairly chilly day. We need our insulation. There are about five different tastes going on here.
Yeah.
And the cottage cheese I can really taste in this.
Yeah.
As in the less sweet, mixed with the
I
wood
also
berries.
forgot to tell you that it's a natural heater.
Oh my
It's a
goodness
natural
me!
plate.
Oh, fantastic!
Just wipe.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. I'm from Canada. We used to.
Wow! I wanna go to visit Canada. Canada is like Romania.
Yeah,
Mountains,
well,
lakes, forests,
This is like
bears.
if you look to Vancouver, look to the west coast.
Mhm.
That's where I spent a lot of time, and it is Sylvanian.
I can tell you're not from England.
No,
Yeah.
I can tell you're not from England either.
Yeah,
You, sir?
I'm from London. I'm from London.
You have a different accent.
Yeah.
Yes, we are all different.
Alright, mate.
Yeah. All
Right,
right.
yes.
They've just brought us another load of on the house palinka. This is fantastic. I mean,
Oh my God.
okay, I'm going to be honest here. I think we have to say which one's best. Now, normally
This one is the presentation is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the size of it.
I sit on the fence of with these things,
But we're being spoiled.
and I
here a
sort
little bit.
of say, well, they're both amazing. In Spanish, as an expression, I'm going to wet myself now, which doesn't actually sound the same in English, but
Nor does it sound very appealing.
I have to wet myself. Me mojo. Means I'm going to not sit on the fence. There isn't really an equivalent expression. This is actually better. I prefer it. Now, obviously we've had such amazing hospitality. We loved the other place as well.
The taste family is equivalent. There is that.
Obviously, it helps with all this free alcohol as well,
And the pancakes.
and the pancakes are also on the house. But I genuinely think that this is just 10 out of 10. Fantastic. So, but the other place is good as well, and obviously the other place is cheaper. So
And you're not right across from.
if
you know,
you're
recycling
if you're on a budget, obviously the other place is easier to get to, and has it's a little bit more laid back
It's
because
it's a different atmosphere.
Yeah.
They have
Whereas this is-
Romanian beer, and they have.
yes,
it's
but
more-
it's really nice. But this is very posh. It's a completely different kind of place. It's very posh, and basically. Anyway, I'm just gonna eat.
Put the food in your mouth.
I put too much in.
Mamma mia.
Come on,
on
you
the
can do it.
proviso.
You can do it.
No,
No, come on.
it's the principle of the thing.
Okay, there you go. All gone. That was amazing. Amazing. Wow, that was amazing. Just £10 they charged us. Fantastic. Amazing. Well, that was interesting, wasn't it? A little bit different. I think, if this video does really well, if we end up with loads and loads of likes and shares, we really need you to share these videos. We need you to like them. We need you to subscribe to our channel, please, and hit that notification bell. It doesn't cost you anything. You can even be our patron if you want. Other people have decided to become our patrons. We're very happy for that. I think we're going to do this again. Maybe next year. What do you think? Do you think we'll do it again?
Maybe.
But we are going to leave it up in the hands of the internet gods, what country we're going to choose. We have here a random country generator, and whichever country pops up, we're going to do a special about it next year. So, let's start. Okay, let's connect the two. Let's connect, there we go, right, they're synced. So let's see where we're going to be. Da-dam, da-dam, da-dam. Click on random country. Where's the mouse? Here we go. We are going to Mauritius. Well, there you go. We are going to try and find things that are relevant to Mauritius. It was becoming apparent that perhaps I should not have left this to the random country generator. But you never know, perhaps there's a wealth of Mauritius London connections out there. Oh, and if you are Mauritian or of Mauritian descent and living in London and would like to appear in our episode next year, please send us a message, either in the comments or via email to hello@loveyourlondon.com. Something tells me that the Mauritius special is not going to be as long as this one. Till next time, bye! From Acton Town to Wimbledon, from Brixton to Beyond, love your London, have a banana.